Hi everyone, I'm finally getting a chance to get another video up, and I just wanted to show you what I managed to pick up recently, and we're going to break one of these down and have a look at how to fix it. I'm looking at fixing this one. So yeah, so what we've got, I bought all three of these. Altogether they were 20 quid for all three. This one apparently has a sticky drive, and what we'll do is we'll go and test that in a second and find out whether that's true or not, because I haven't actually tried this one yet. This one came with all these cables, no controller though. This one, it was apparently untested. It's got a little bit of damage to it, and it has no hard drive and no controller, no wires at all. But I managed to borrow my mate's power lead for this, and it does actually work and power up. It actually has got a game in the drive which is Dishonored, and I fired it up and it loaded the disc, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with this console whatsoever. I just need to get some cables and a controller for it. And then we have this one here. I haven't actually even opened this box yet, so like I say, I haven't even looked at this one yet. This one's got a hard drive, this one hasn't, and this one looks like this one's got a hard drive. It doesn't look, it's a bit grubby. Let's just pop this. Well, the Microsoft seal hasn't been broken. Doesn't look like it's been broken. To me, that looks like legit. I can't see if anything else has been tampered with. What else have we got in here? We've got all the gumph. And we have a controller, which has a recharge pack with it. Has a actual, is it an official Microsoft? It's an official Microsoft charge kit. No idea if that charge kit's going to work. Buttons feel a little bit worn, but everything feels like it's pretty usable. But like I say, these are pretty worn down. If you have a look, the bobbles are pretty rubbed off. And what else have we got? It looks like we've got the plug and charge cable for the, yes we have, the plug and charge cable. We have the power cable, and we have the component cable. This one though apparently has the red ring of death, so I'm going to need to find out what is the actual problem with it, so diagnose it. But this will be a video for another day. What we're going to do today, we're going to take this Xbox and we are going to test it, and if it is got a sticky drive, we're going to open it up and I'm going to show you how to fix it. So let's get cracking, let's get this set up and see if it works. Okay, so I have everything set up. We have an orange light, which is a good start. So I've obviously, because this charger, I'm not sure if this charge pack works, so I'm just going to see if this will fire up. There we go. So we actually have, looking at it, we've actually, this hasn't been wiped at all. We've actually got a few accounts on here. Some of them had Xbox Live as well. Let's just sign into one of these. Okay, so let's see if we can open the drive. Ooh. It opened, but it was very sticky. Let's so it goes back in okay. You hear that? Oh, it's very I mean, it looks fairly dirty in there. Let's try that again. Oh, you can hear it as well. It doesn't sound too healthy. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a disc. And we'll just see if it can read and register a disc. Oh, it's quite noisy. It's trying, but apparently it's an unrecognised disc. But let's crack this open and give it a good clean up and see if we can get this up and running. So I'm in a slightly different place. I've got a little workshop that I've set up now in my shed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this apart, show you how to take it apart, and then we'll look at why the the tray sticking basically. So right, first what you need to do is you need to get these pads off. There's one on the top and there's one on the bottom, and these are very easy to do. Inside these little holes there's little tabs, and if you push them you can pop this out, and then you can take the top and the bottom trays out. Yeah, so what you want to do is pull the front up, and then inside here there's little tabs. If you push the little tab, it pops straight out. If you do that all the way down, you'll be able to take it straight out. So what we're going to do is we're going to release these pins here, these clips here. I'm going to have to break the 360 seal here, and then what you'll be able to do is just lift the front up, and we'll have the front open for a second. Now, as you can see, I've got the clips off, and I've opened the front, and I've sat it so it's just half open at the moment. And then we're going to spin this round. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Now some people have little tools for this. You can buy tools, or you can make tools. I just use like little tack pins like these, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 holes that you need to put. And then basically what I do is I push the tap pin in, and you hear a little click, and when you hear that click, you know that the clip's popped out. Hang on, see the hole there, hear that? So those two are now released, and then I'm going to do these next 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this should come apart just like that. So you don't need any fancy tools. If you've got any of like these little tap pins lying around, just use a load of them, because like I say, you just put one in each hole. As soon as you hear that pop, then you know it's going to release. Okay, next you're going to need a little Torx set, and you're going to need a Torx 10. I've got a security bit set. You don't need them for this, but it is handy to have a security bit set, because then you're kind of covered if it has got pins in the middle of the torque. So, whoops. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 6 long screws out, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to take them out, then we're going to flip it over, and we can take the top cover off. So now you've got it open. The last part you need to do is lift the drive off. There's 2 switches, there's 2 cables on the back that you need to pop out. Just be very careful with them. Oh, he says. There might be a little sticker on the front here. If there is, just slice the sticker, and you should be able to just lift the drive straight out. And then underneath there's 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. Undo them, and you'll be able to take the shell off of this, and then access the drive inside. It's quite dirty in here. Unfortunately, I haven't got anything to blow it out with, but I'm going to grab something tomorrow to try and blow it out with. So what we'll do is we'll get this drive open. I'll clean inside the drive, and we'll hook it up, and we'll see if we can get this reading discs. Okay, so the first thing I'm noticing in this drive is there's some serious build-up of dirt and all sorts on these, on the track, and it does feel quite stiff going back on the track, so we're going to clean them up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push this tab. So this thing is filthy. This looks, it doesn't look too bad, but I might change the O-ring anyway. I'm going to give all these a good clean. I'm going to clean all this up. So all I'm going to do, I've got some multi-purpose oil that is a cleaner and a lubricant. I'm going to use some cotton buds and clean all these down. I'm going to clean everything inside here, And then I'm going to use some rubbing alcohol, and I'm going to clean the lens, and I'm also going to change the belt, the O-ring on here, and hopefully, fingers crossed, when I do that, everything will run again. Okay, so I've cleaned all this, lubed all this up. All these have been cleaned up and had new grease put on them. I've cleaned the lens, and I've also put a new band on there, because this one was a little bit slack, and it looked like it was slightly damaged. Yeah, so I'm going to stick this back in the console and quickly set it up, and we'll see if it will eject in and out easier and read a disc. Okay, so I've got it all set back up and back in, so we're just going to turn this on. Hopefully, there we go. Stick the disc in, just make sure it reads again. So before it wasn't reading at all, and now it seems to be loading fine. There we go. So there you go. I'm gonna get all this cleaned down even more, because this thing's a state. And then I'm gonna put it all back together. Okay, so as you can see, I've sprayed it all out, I've cleaned it all down. I've cleaned it as much as I can in here. The air can I've got is pretty rubbish. So I'm going to end up buying myself a little compressor, I think, when I start doing more of these. But these have cleaned out pretty well. I've blown it all down. So now I'm going to build it all back together, and we'll run it up and test it again just to make sure it's still working. So there you go. I've got it all back together. It's all cleaned down, and it's still opening lovely. So that's great. So I'm really happy with that. So that's a great little fix. So thank you for watching, and I should have another tutorial video up again very soon.